Oh my goodness. And there it is. Wow, gets it to spin to go.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Bowl TV for continued coverage of the PWBA Summer Classic Series from the International Training and Research Center in Arlington, Texas. My name is Aaron Smith with Bowl TV, and we are ready for match play from the Go Bowling Classic, the first of 3 national tour stops over the course of the next week or so from the ITRC, the home of Team USA. The top 12 have advanced after 9 qualifying games over the course of 2 squads yesterday on a very demanding 43-foot condition. Dasha Kovalova, the player to beat so far, really put on a great show, finished with 770 in her final 3 games to catapult to the top of the leaderboard. But the standings are close. We got bonus pins coming into it. It is ridiculously, when you look at the overall standings, there is a lot of opportunity over the course of the next 12 games over 2 blocks to have anyone in the field make the stepladder for tonight. The top 4 will advance, 9 p.m. Eastern time for that. But right now, our warm-up session is over, so we're going to go to the lanes first. We're going to get a look at our first matchup on lanes 1 through 4 here at the ITRC. But as we do that, we're going to bring in Curtis Von Kruger and Matt Cannizzaro as well. So let's see. There's Matt. Hi, Matt.
Hello, sir.
And then there's Curtis. Hello, Curtis.
Hello.
Now, guys, I got well, technically it's 2 stats for you. I mentioned it was close coming into competition. After qualifying yesterday, took a score of plus 63 to advance. Shalyn Zulkifli got the final spot. From second place, which is Birgit Norreichs, to Shalyn in 12th place is a difference of 86 pins. So 11 players within 86 pins of each other. The difference from first to second, 80 pins, Dasha Kovalova ahead of Birgit, but 12 games, 30 bonus pins at play at each game. This is absolutely 100% nothing determined here at the Go Bowling Classic, and this is what makes it fun, crazy, and all the good stuff that we enjoy to bring to you here on Bowl TV.
Yeah, 360 bonus pins potentially in just 12 games in a low-scoring tournament. Those are going to really honestly decide. So you're not don't worry about what you're averaging today. Just worry about the bowler in front of you. And if you can take care of your matches, good things are going to happen. If you have the best match play record, I guarantee you will be on the show tonight at 8 p.m. We're going to cover that live on Bowl TV as well. You're not going to want to miss that. It's going to be a great one. Got some questions here. You got some Julia Bond and Dasha Kovalova sitting in good positions right now to make a run at the show. Obviously, you like where Dasha's at. Potentially either Dasha could put some pressure on Julia to in that Player of the Year race, or Julia can break away as she's sitting in 5th place right now, only 5 pins out of the show. Who do you like? What do you feel right now there, Matt Cannizzaro?
Well, again, we've got 12 of the best in the world here. It would be hard to guess, but that's what we're here for, right? We're here to discuss and speculate and make predictions. And so the folks at the end of the day can either tell us how smart and scientific we are in our guesses, or tell us that we have no idea what we're talking about. But again, you have to like the confidence and the comfort for Dasha at the ITRC and just this season in general. Even making some changes recently to her span and her equipment, coming out and bowling as well as she did, finishing strong yesterday. Important thing to note today, of course, that the pace will be much quicker, and the traffic is much different now with only 2 bowlers per pair each game and only 6 games. So, Dasha really came on strong at the end yesterday. So we're not going to get to that point of transition throughout today. So I'll be curious to hear from some of the ball reps and what her plan was coming in and tweaking the strategy to get the look that she had later in the day. And then, of course, confidence-wise, Julie Bond, the season she's having, and, of course, her success early at the ITRC. You have to like her chances, too. But some very motivated players in our top 12. Valerie Bercier had some ups and downs and a little bit of heartbreak here at the ITRC in January. But she's coming off 2 years ago now, but the Rookie of the Year campaign. And so she is ready to do some things. And others in the top 12, Rocio Restrepo coming off some injuries and trying to get back into her groove and really using the time away to get comfortable again. Verdi Crawley coming off of her big win. And then those who haven't won yet, right? Lauren Pate having a big finish yesterday in her final frames. A couple of big games to close things out to get into the top 12. She's in 9th place, going to have to do some work today. But as Aaron said, less than 100 pins between 12th and 2nd at this point. So top to bottom, we could probably talk about each player and the reasons why they could make the step ladder, why they should win this event. I think more than anything, it'll be entertaining and it will not be disappointing no matter what happens.
You mentioned Rocio Restrepo, and let's talk about her for just 1 second. She's obviously last couple of years had some struggles. When she's healthy, she throws the ball as good as any person out here. Had a bad start to her day, but look at this: 188, $165 to start her day. A lot of people would pack it in and say, "Hey, maybe this isn't my week." She rattles off 212, 210, 20, 210, 240. That is correction. 220, 214, 229, 214, 214, 237, 213 to finish out her block. Only her first 2 games were in the negative, and just consistency. And it put her in 7th place. A very impressive capping to her block there. And she's sitting at 101 over. So it's really good to see Rocio. She was relieved. She was happy. She was pumping her fist, saying, I made a cut. So, it means something a little bit extra for her coming off those series of injuries and really just not being able to bowl as she thinks she can. So great job by Rocio.
All right, guys, I also want to talk about Shalin just a little bit. Shalin Zulkifli from Malaysia. I feel like we're about the same age, but in my introduction to Team USA and the international bowling scene, Shalin was the standard. She was the one they described as the international sensation. When you go to Malaysia, they were trying to put it in perspective as far as what she meant to her country and in the sports world. She's the athlete that you see on the billboards. She's the one. They describe this one. This one hit home for me. But when you go to McDonald's and you have your tray and you have the piece of paper on your tray and it has information or whatever, her picture, they said, gets to be on that piece of paper on your tray. Wow. That is how relevant she has been in the sporting world in Malaysia in her career. That also meant that much of her attention, because that was her job. She was part of the Malaysian national team. That was her full-time gig. So she was out there making a living. But that meant in the early part of the PWBA, she was focused on other things. She was focused on her family. She stepped away entirely for a minute. And now she's back. She's retired from the national team. And now she's very focused on the PWBA tour and the title that has eluded her just because of the history of the tour and the fact that it was away from 2003 to 2015. But she is here, and most of the folks I would feel are not yet familiar with her stateside or on Bowl TV, but you should be and you will be, and she has accomplished more in her career than most of us will in 5 lifetimes. So keep an eye out for her. Maybe not in this event, maybe, but definitely the rest of this season.
Yeah, she was sweating it going into that last game. I saw her in about game 7, kind of just spying things, peeping things out. And, it was she was out of the number going into the last game, as J. Rich was the number 73 over. And almost Jillian Martin could have struck out to tie Shalin. Ends up getting the first hit in the 10th, and as we know, she ended up missing on the second one, but an impressive performance by Jillian nonetheless. but you can't get as more internationally accomplished as Zulkifli. I mean, there's just nobody else out there who has done what she has done. It's great to see her bowling well. She's happy to be bowling well, and I expect her to make a good run here, and be in the mix. Obviously, everybody is in the mix right now. So if you want to catch her, she's on the lanes 11 and 12, bowling Jordan Richard right now. It's kind of a position match right now, right? 1 versus 2, 3 versus 4, as you go down the line. So lanes 11 and 12, last pair in play. We took 13 and 14 out of play, obviously. So check those out and see how she bowls.
Now, Aaron Smith, you had a chance to see Shalyn find success at the Women's Championships this year in Reno, and you also made note of her final game yesterday. I don't want to say it was a big finish, but it was an important finish. Tell us more about that and maybe some other storylines and some momentum you see coming off of that event.
Yeah, Matt, I thought you made an interesting point a little bit earlier, in talking about the strong finish that Dasha had. She shot 770 her final 3 games to catapult to the spot that she's in right now. For Shalyn specifically, her final game was not looking too good to start. She was having some struggles out of the gates. Found a late 5-bagger to get to 201, and that ended up being the number as we stated. So we saw a lot of players kind of have that mental toughness down the stretch. And once again, we talked a lot about yesterday. For the players on tour, bowling 9 games in a row is, 9, 12, 16 games in a day isn't a crazy amount. But just the pace of it was a little bit different than what they've been seeing on tour. Usually, they're bowling 12 games in a qualifying block, but it's split in half. You have it's fresh for the second block. So, you don't necessarily see, this transition hit once or twice like, Matt McNeil said when we talked to him. So everything was just a little bit different, coming into the Classic Series event. And with everything kind of going on, seeing kind of the mental toughness of some of these players down the stretch, I think was for me, the most impressive parts. We talked about, Rocio just kind of grinding throughout the course of the day, 2 teams, 220s, 230s, to slowly get to the number, get there, solidify her spot. Lauren Pate, 240 and then a late 2-0 in similar fashion to Shalyn, throw in a couple of late strikes to get to that 2-0 game, to make sure her spot was secured for this upcoming round here. I think the fun note, looking at this top 12, and for those of you joining us on Facebook and YouTube, if you do head over to bowltv.com, pick up a subscription, you can watch every match in match play throughout the course of the day. And looking at these top 12 players, we have 9 countries represented, which is pretty phenomenal when you think about it. Dasha from Ukraine, Birgit from Germany, Valerie originally from Canada, Daria Payuk from Poland, Rocio from Colombia, Verdi Crawley from England, Diana Zavyalova from Latvia, Shalyn Zulkifli from Malaysia, and then a couple players representing the United States as well, in Sydney Brummett, Julia Bond, Jordan Richard, and Lauren Pate. So a very diverse field. So that's definitely a big talking point to continue on the international trend we've seen here on the PWBA tour since the relaunch in 2015. But then getting back to Curtis's point from a little bit earlier as well, looking at the points list, early on, Dasha and Julia, the players in the top 4, advancing to this top 12. We didn't necessarily have that for some of the other players who are kind of in the mix. So Missy Parkin, Shannon O'Keefe missed this cut, so that's going to create a little separation. And, of course, looking ahead to the Bowl TV Classic at the end of this week, those players are going to have to work a little harder to, potentially make that top 24. So that's going to be a big thing to look ahead to, especially going into the International Bowling Campus Classic on Friday and Saturday. But a lot of great competition coming together here. Once again, these are all head-to-head matches, 30 bonus pins at play for the victor of each match, 15 if there happens to be a tie. If you do lose a match, no bonus pins for you. Just total pinfall continuing on as they try to set things up. And with as close as it is, in this 6-game block. We're still going to have things, we're going to get a little bit closer to the final picture, but there's still going to be a lot to go. We have that second block coming up today, 5 p.m. Eastern time, right here on BoldTV.com. For those of you watching on Bold TV, the current lineups across the house. Once again, you do have access to watch every channel available in every lane in play. And as Curtis said, it's basically a position round to start things off today, and then we'll have one in Game 12 when we all wrap up. Dasha Kovalova. That's right. Dasha Kovalova taking on Birgit Norreichs right now, along with Sydney Brummett against Valerie Bercier. We're watching that here on 1 through 4. So all the folks on Facebook and YouTube, this is your premier matches to kick things off today. Julia Bond taking on Daria Payuk on 5 and 6. Rocio Restrepo taking on Verdi Crawley on 7 and 8. Lauren Pate against Diana Zavyalova on 9 and 10. And then Jordan Richard taking on Shalyn Zolkifli on 11 and 12.
Look at that ball reaction. Look at Dasha's ball reaction. She is her touch has gotten so much better over the last couple of years. And obviously she's gotten in a lot better physical shape. She makes a lot of jokes about it. She makes a lot of jokes in general, but she can get more power, but she doesn't need it. Really putting a lot of soft touch on the ball. She started off with something a little bit too aggressive early, and then moved into something and basically jettisoned that ball as quickly as possible. Came out with something a little smoother, and instead of trying to get it to boomerang off the back of the pattern, she really put some nice touch on it, smoothed it out through the mid and back end, and obviously the results are working well. Looks like she's off to another hot start this morning. Potentially 278 in the bag here. Great start, and it's going to put, could potentially put a lot of distance between her and the next few people as you look at the scores across there. Not great. Sydney Brummett's struggling a little bit here. She needs to throw a 3-bagger here to really put herself back in here. And then Valerie Bercier can actually bowl a 259. So, it's going to be interesting who can get off to that quick start. And you've got to really adjust your mindset here, where yesterday you felt like you had time and it felt more like a marathon, and today is going to feel very much like a sprint. This is the instead of the 400 meter, this is the 200 meter, and you're really going to have to get off and get going, or you're going to find yourself falling too much behind. So let's see who takes advantage and takes that opportunity and runs with it. Verity Crawley also off to a fast start if you want to check her out. Lane 7 and 8.
That's a good matchup there against Rocio. Rocio throwing some strikes as well. Julia Bond on 5 and 6 has 6 out of 7 strikes. Folks, we do have live scoring available too if you want to follow along that way. It's a very helpful tool. We use it along the way as well. You can find that and more on PWBA.com.
Close match here with Shalyn and Jordan. Oh, and Shalyn just absolutely putting some pressure on Jordan right now. So you can check that match out. What are the other keys to watch for? This transition is going to hit like a brick house. Probably, I would say more like game 5 and 6 today. Obviously, Matt earlier mentioned the fewer lines, fewer balls going down the lane over the course of the qualifying round or the match play rounds. So it'll delay that transition just a touch, but late in this block is going to be a difficult one. Let's see how they adjust from the knowledge they gained yesterday. Feel like they started off too much inside early. B Squad did to start the day, and that really made transition very tough for them. As you saw, that scoring pace just flatten out in 4, 5, 6, and 7. So let's see if they can correct that error today.
shot there from Valerie to keep things going. Just missed the show at the season opening Bowlers Journal Classic back in January at the ITRC. 5th place finish.
Oh, and there's that dreaded 2-8-10 here for Dasha. And they're always lurking around the corner, especially on the early fresh. You can't get that speed up. Absolutely not. But speaking of Valerie, she's one of those players that you're just expecting. She was the 2019 Rookie of the Year. Had a really solid season. But you expect her to kind of break out a little bit because she throws the ball great. She's in peak physical condition. She takes care of her body. She takes care of herself. And obviously has had some success as an amateur. So she's one of those players that we talk about. Maybe she's a little underrated. And Dasha gives that a good run. So we're gonna see if this may be that breakout tournament and she can capture that elusive title.
She made one championship round appearance in 2019 on her way to winning Rookie of the Year. Off to a strong start here into the 240s already. One more. She'll be in the 250s. Curtis, just kind of taking a glance, we're watching 1 through 4 here. You're there on site. It just seems like folks are a little keeping everything a little more in front of them today. It's not quite as many steep angles out of the gates as we saw during the qualifying blocks.
No, that is a spot on observation right there. As J. Rich, it looks to win this match with a strike or a 9 spare in the fill of her 10th frame. A little more in front of them. They're not trying to get into that mid lane or the middle of the lane early. Keeping really tight angles. With maybe a little bit more of an aggressive cover stocks, but mild course. With probably, I see a lot of like 2,000 on the surfaces right now. Nothing too scuffed up. Just to really blend out as much as you can this ball reaction across this 43-foot pattern. So J. Rich finishes the deal here. She'll be chilling in the first match. Another 2-8-10 for Dasha. And now she's kind of opening that door here. Just a touch, just a hair. Birgit can strike out to make her double. So that game just tightened up a lot as Valerie threw down a 258. Really great start for Valerie.
She'll get the bonus pins as well. Sydney going to get the loss, but with that strike, still has 227 out there. So you take that and run in those situations. Verdi's going to get the victory over Rocio. She's in the books with 247, so that will be enough.
Wow, that was a brutal 9-pin for Birgit. And really kind of takes the pressure off of. She can hold 193 now. Meaning Dasha really just has to keep it clean and then keep it on the lane. Good break there for Dasha. Bad break for Birgit. And that's one of those games you really want to win if you're Birgit, because you're picking up at least a minimum of 31 sticks to the lead. And now she'll give some back, and obviously Valerie is going to pass her up. And it looks like Sydney's going to pass her up as well. So she's going to drop a few spots, and that just shows you how tight this grouping of players is right now. You bowl one bad game, and you're going to have 4 or 5 players breathing down your neck. Verity also going to be jumping up there too. So, man, you can't lose focus here.
Julia Bond on her way to victory can max out at 245. Daria Payuk in the books with 180. Rocio in that loss, 226. Diana Zavyalova going to get the victory over Lauren Pate. She's a strike away from 228. Jordan Richard, 230 to 222. That's the final tally against Shalin.
Shalin had a late open, unfortunately for her, and opened the door back up for Jordan to come in and have a very strong finish. But, you know, if you're going to lose, 220 is not a bad score to lose with. You're not going to give too many away there. And so just kind of keeps her treading water. She knows she's going to win some matches. She can't win them. Well, very rarely do you win them all. So we'll see here. And now Birgit gets the 10 pin in the 10th frame. So that means at best, Dasha will have to fill 2 in the 10th. So this one's going to go to Dasha. Not the score she wanted, but the score she gets.
And a win you'll take with back-to-back 2-8-10s at the end of the game.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, she probably thought those weren't bad shots. And that's what this pattern will do to you. You throw one, you're like, oh, that was a good shot. And you still 2-8-10, or you still come in high on the nose and leave a big 4 or something like that. And it's just a testament to how tricky this shot is. And, you know, if you look at the benchmark here as to how tricky this was, I was watching Shannon O'Keefe last night, and a very frustrating day for her. And she came back and she looked at me and another open. Well, it's gonna look like an open. We don't know if she'll fill it. Shannon just came back to me and said they're hard, and Shannon can bowl on anything. And she, I mean, ironically, she bowled a really good game the last game. She came back and she was like, "Well, I should have done this the entire day." Just bad. Just not necessarily the right choices. So one of the best bowlers in the world had a big struggle on this pattern, and same with Kelly Kulik, Liz Johnson. You know, these really, really great players that have had traditionally really good shots on patterns like this just struggled throughout the day. 3 opens to finish her game off, Aaron, with Dasha.
Uncharacteristic, but enough for bonus pins. So a small victory there for Dasha, 189 to 179, the win over Birgit. We're going to get ready for game 2, folks. So that means our sneak peek on Facebook and YouTube will be coming to a close here in just a moment. So if you want to watch for the rest of the day, stepladder finals later tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern, and the rest of the Summer Classic Series, we do encourage you to head over to bowltv.com. Pick up a subscription. We got 4 different price points you're coming in at. You can watch the rest of the Go Bowling Classic for all of today. Catch all the live coverage, $8.95 for that. If you want to watch the rest of the Summer Classic Series, which goes all the way until August 10th, you get 4 stepladder finals between now and then as well. $19.95 for all the live coverage. If you pick up a monthly recurring subscription to Bowl TV, that's going to cost you $9.95, but that will get you access to the entire site as well. So not only the live events, you get to watch the archived coverage if you want to go back and watch anything that you might have missed, and all the on-demand content available across the site as well. So $9.95 for the monthly, and that gets you a few more PWBA events coming up this month. The PWBA Spokane Open and the U.S. Women's Open all taking place in August. So that monthly recurring subscription would get you there, $9.95. And then the annual recurring subscription, $79.95, the best way to support the PWBA Tour each and every year. That'll get you all the way until, this time next year. So the start of the 2022 season, the Junior Gold Championships, you look at, potentially historically where we've had events, the Masters, the U.S. Open, usually earlier in the part of the year, the Team USA trials, all of that available, and all the stuff we have planned for the rest of 2021, the rest of the PWBA Tour season, and more, the Bowlers Journal Team Championship Series, and all that good stuff available on bowltv.com. So we hope you head over, check out the community, say hello. We have giveaways as well, so join us and win too. Always a great opportunity. So for now, if you're on bowltv.com, we're going to take a quick second to reset. If you're watching on Facebook and YouTube, we'll see you later, and hopefully over at Bowl TV to watch the Go Bowling Classic here from the ITRC. Thanks again for joining us, and remember, on Bowl TV, bowling lives here. As we get underway with game number 2, welcome back to Bowl TV for the Go Bowling Classic Match Play Round 1. This block will be 6 games, then we'll have a bit of a break, probably a couple hours, so a little different than yesterday when it was rapid fire into the second qualifying round, A squad to B squad. Quick rundown of our matches here for game number 2. We're going to watch Valerie Bercier take on Julia Bond here on lanes 1 and 2. Julia mentioned yesterday that 1 and 2 has been a pretty good pair to her over the course of this past year. So we'll see if she can bounce back after this early split. She's going to make a run at it here. Just take the 2. Daria Payuk against Birgit Norreichs, 3 and 4. Over on 5 and 6, Sydney Brummett taking on Shalyn Zolkifli. On 7 and 8, Lauren Pate against Jordan Richard. On 9 and 10, Dasha Kovalova taking on Rocio Restrepo. And on 11 and 12, Diana Zavyalova taking on Verity Crawley. I want to take a quick second as well to recognize Kulik, one of our proud apparel partners here on the PWBA Tour in 2021. You can learn more about Coolwick, all their apparel, and what they can offer you, whether you want to take home one of their hundreds of unique bowling jersey designs or customize your own. You can check them out, learn more, and be cool at coolwick.com. Back on this 43-foot condition, 40-foot drop rush, 27.15 mils using Kegel current oil. As Curtis and Matt talked about a little bit earlier, they had 4 on a pair throughout qualifying, 9 games yesterday. 2 on a pair, less games, re-oil in between. So we'll see if that transition, how much that catches up with the players here in the slightly shorter block and a little less traffic going down the lanes. Bond in the books with her first strike on 1 and 2 after 244 in the opener. Mercier had 258. Back-to-back opens for Birgit, trending in the wrong direction here in the early going. .179 in her opening round loss to Dasha Kovalova. Daria unable to convert the washout there. First open for her in game 2. Birgit can step up, deliver a double to take the lead heading into the second half of the game. Nice shot there by Bond. Mentioned she was in the 240s in game 1. She shot 250 out of the gates in her qualifying block to start things off. So seems pretty comfortable on the fresh. A couple of hiccups here in the early going in game 2. Still right in the mix here early going in this matchup against Bercier. Almost a matchup of the Rookie of the Year race in 2019. Bond and Bercier ended up finishing top 2 in the rookie standings for the season as Bond gets the trip 4. Valerie sealed the deal, though, however, at the Players' Championship that year to officially lock up her spot as the top rookie for the season. Good question in the chat about pinfall carrying over for this event. And pinfall does carry over into the match play portion, so have a note in about the standings available online. So if you want to see what everybody shot in game 1, that is available. We'll go ahead and get those updated with everything adding together momentarily. Taking a look at live scoring across the house. Nothing too crazy yet, so kind of similar to what we saw yesterday. Thinking back to A Squad, once we kind of hit game 2, after everyone kind of got away from their starting pairs, it was a bit of a drop in scoring pace. We'll see if some folks can get some strikes going toward the back half of this block, or this game, I should say. But some relatively low-scoring matches, couple opens up there. Folks fighting for a way to get those 30 bonus pins. So looking ahead to the end of this block, Matt Cannizzaro, we're going to have a special guest join us for game number 6. Actually going to come up here to the Bull TV studio. One of us is going to get kicked out, but that's okay, because as much as I know all you good folks love Matt and I think it's going to be pretty cool to have Jillian Martin join us here. So Jillian just missed this cut, but she's going to be swinging by for game number 6 to join us upstairs here at the Bull TV studio to call the action, have some fun along the way as well. And then later tonight for the stepladder finals.
That one for sure, I'm losing my seat, and that's okay, because I would give it up for this young lady anytime. But that means I get to head downstairs and see the action in person. So it's a win-win for us, and especially for the Bull TV viewers.
Absolutely. It's going to be Kelly Kulick joining us here from the Bull TV studio for the stepladder finals tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 local time, here in Arlington, Texas. So we have that in store later today, but oh, so much bowling. Saban stepping up here, 7-10. In the 9th frame, she'll take the 1. Valerie Bercier is going to get the bonus pins. Already enough for the victory. Birgit with the double in the 7th and the 8th to jump ahead against Daria. Payuk's going to step up here, 9th frame. Well, she'll step up here soon. Going to take a quick re-rack. Looks like Shalin Zulkifli is going to get a victory over Sydney Brummett. Sydney's going to be in the 180s. Shalin still has a max score of 240 with the 10th frame to go. Some other matches pretty close across the house, though. 7 and 8, Lauren Pate against Jordan Richard. Daria's going to not get the 10 pin to tumble. Her max now 179. Birgit's able to step up here in the 9th and mark in the 10th. Will be enough. Good count. Diana Z up 12 against Verdi on 11 and 12. 10th frame left to go there. Dasha Kovalova ahead against Rocio on 9 and 10, but that one still needs to be determined. All right, looks like we got that little hiccup with the standing sheet updated online. So Dasha Kovalova continues to lead plus 248. Valerie Bercier, though, with 258 in the opener, jumps into second place at plus 214. Julia Bond, third, plus 195. Verdi Crawley, fourth, plus 164. Sydney Brummett, fifth, plus 145. 19 out of the show. Diana Zavyalova, plus 137. Jordan Richard, plus 133. Birgit Norreichs with 179 and a loss in the opening match, falls from 2nd to 8th. So we talked about how close this was, and that is the all-telling factor right there. It can fall that quickly. Rocio plus 127 to 9th. Daria Payuk plus 88. Shalin Zulkifli plus 85. Lauren Pate plus 31. This match just got a lot more interesting on 3 and 4. Birgit misses the head pin, 5 count washout.
Yeah, loses count there too. That's a big one. Now, even if she picks this up, a strike 9 spare or strike spare wins it for Daria.
Oh,
nice conversion.
You don't see that one attack that way too often. Usually when folks try to have the one deflect into the 6, it's usually from the other side of the lane.
Yeah, you usually kind of hook it at the 1-2 pocket, so to speak. And hope you get the slide to the right, the electric slide there. But Birgit chooses to use ball deflection, which requires a lot more accuracy to do it that way. It's the way that good old Norm shoots it, so it's probably never you can do it, probably never a bad idea. And now Daria just needs to fill 20. Excuse me, make that 19 in the final frame. Well, depending on the count she gets, you can go 9 spare strike here.
That was left, and it's a very fortunate 9.
Absolutely. She'll need to pick it up, obviously.
The opportunity, perhaps, for our first split. 15 bonus pins getting thrown out there.
Now she wants that full 30, so she's only giving away 2 sticks. But yeah, absolutely. 9 is a tie, 8 is a lose, and so obviously not a. There's easily those. I mean, 2 8-10s are lurking around the corner, so definitely needs to stay focused here and make a decent shot and walk away with the win.
Dasha Kovalova is going to pick up the W against Rocio. Going to be in the 2 teens to 195. Diana 212 to 208 over Verdi. Jordan Richard 214 to 207 over Lauren Pate.
Oh, she got
a chance.
Right.
Oh.
Right. Wow. She got that right, and it makes the corner. Who trips out the 210 for the victory. That probably going to get under Birgit's skin for a couple of minutes.
That's wow. Take him how you can get him.
Yeah, you can't tell. There's no asterisk next to that. So Daria with the win there.
Take him how you can get him. 30 bonus pins for Daria. Birgit will fall a little bit farther back in the standings. As we get ready for game number 3 here. I want to give a shout out to Viz Sportswear, another proud apparel sponsor of the PWBA Tour here in 2021. You can follow Viz online. Hashtag never give up. Hashtag be unique. And you can learn more at viz-sportwear.it. So be sure to check them out. viz-sportwear.it. Moving into game 3. Once again, we are this block's going to cruise by. Across the house, sticking on 1 through 4. Let's see who's coming up. Going to have Lauren Pate taking on Sydney Brummett. Dasha Kovalova taking on Diana Zavyalova. Jordan Richard against Valerie Bercier. Julia Bond taking on Shalyn Zulkifli. Verity Crawley against Birgit Norrex. That's over on 9 and 10. The Julia Shalyn match was on 7 and 8. Jordan Valerie on 5 and 6. I was just reading those along. Forgot I was supposed to mention the lane numbers too. Then on 11 and 12, we have Daria Payuk taking on Rocio Restrepo.
All right, folks, game 3 of match play moving along here at the PWBA Go Bowling Classic. We will have a score update once the standings are available at pwba.com, so stay tuned for that. In the meantime, the best in the world facing off at the ITRC in Arlington, Texas, the home of Team USA, but this week it is the world stage. We've got 12 bowlers remaining in match play for this first of 4 events this week. 3 national and 1 regional tournament. 9 countries represented among the 12 players. It's a pretty phenomenal stat. Looking forward to seeing it all shake out throughout the day here. Live on Bowl TV, it'll unfold with 12 games of head-to-head match play. Bonus pins for each victory. And later tonight, the top 4 will face off in a traditional step ladder. 4 players battling for the $10,000 top prize here in this kickoff event. the PWBA Summer Classic Series. Action continues tomorrow with the International Bowling Campus Classic. And the top 24 players based on their 18-game qualifying pinfall totals from the Go Bowling Classic and the IBC Classic will advance to the all-match play Bowl TV Classic that'll wrap up the week. All the details can be found at pwba.com, so check that out. If you have any questions, certainly let us know either via social media or here in the chat on Bowl TV. We appreciate everybody joining us here for today's action. My name is Matt Canizaro, joined, of course, by the legendary Aaron Smith and Curtis Von Kruger. Jason Thomas nearby as well. Special guest coming up in just a little while for Game 6 today of our opening round of match play. It will be Junior Team USA member Jillian Martin. She finished just outside the cut number here for this first event. She was tied for 13th place. She's your alternate for match play today. So somebody needs to pull out of the event, Jillian would step in, but she will be available to offer some analysis from live here in the studio. That coming up again, Game 6 of our opening round of match play. And then later tonight, 8 p.m. local time, 9 p.m. Eastern, USBC Hall of Famer Kelly Kulick will be on the call with Aaron Smith for the step ladder. I'll head down to the lanes at the ITRC and catch the action in person. I'll have a recap for you later tonight on pwba.com and bowl.com. Keep an eye out for that. And of course, if you missed any of the action yesterday or the PTQ that kicked off the week, you can find all that in the Bowl TV archives. Here in our featured pairs, the battle of two of the three Russian-speaking bowlers on the PWBA Tour, Diana Zavyalova and Dasha Kovalova. Folks watching at home, can you tell us who the third Russian-speaking player would be on the PWBA Tour? Our other match, the battle of Team USA members, Lauren Pate and Sydney Brummett. Two up-and-comers, fresh out of college, looking to make a splash here on the PWBA Tour. Again, we're waiting for the latest standings. We'll have that for you in just a minute, but two great matches here.
Yeah, it looks like Jordan Richard having the big day right now so far. Her and Valerie making some big jumps. Jordan went from 11th to 4th in a couple of games. So a really big movement here. But, Matt, they are extremely tight down lane. As you can see right there, 2-4-8-10 by Lauren Pate. Probably thought she threw a pretty decent shot. There are, you see 2-8-10, 2-10, 2-4-8-10. It is ridiculous. People just kind of throwing their arms up because they are just absolutely razor thin down lane, so to speak. 8-10 by Dasha right there. And just, they're not coming off the spot. So what do you tighten up your angles and know that if you miss a board, it's going to 2-pin instead of 2-8-10? Or do you make a little bit of a move left, throw something with a little surface on it, and maybe a little bit more of aggressive, something that'll try to pick up a little earlier, and try to stay in the pocket a little more? It's a tough decision.
Well, definitely a characteristic of the ITRC. Many players who have bowled here regularly or trained here will tell you, just generally less hook, tighter, and then add in, the volume of oil, the type of oil that we're seeing this week, or in this event, I should say. We're going to see different types of oil throughout, but all good things, and ball reps on hand, and they did get to see this 43-foot pattern yesterday for 9 games, but twice as much traffic. We had 4 in a pair yesterday, only 2 prepared today. But we saw early yesterday. We knew 43 feet would maybe dictate getting a little bit left for the right-handers. But early on, many of them were relatively straight, right around 15. Tight line to the pocket. They did open up as the 9 games progressed, and those with the heavy hands were able to get left and hook it a little bit. And, again, a total new challenge today. The first step, of course, making it to the top 12. But then really you have to almost rethink or come up with a completely brand new game plan for the traffic pattern that we're going to see today.
No, absolutely. And I think that it comes as a little bit of a surprise for people as they kind of thought, hey, well, we've got a pretty solid plan in place. We got everything we need here. Let's just go out and execute. But now it's clearly, it's going to be scramble mode, and these ball reps are going to earn their keep and earn their pay for this block, because there's only 3 more games left in this block, and then you've got a quick sprint to finish out the day and make that cut. So they got to figure something out fast.
Well, we did mention that our overall leader coming in today, Dasha Kovalova, her run came at the end of the day. So after nearly 9 games of traffic on this oil pattern, she finished with about 770 to get to 229 over. So the question is, what happened early? She got out to a pretty slow start, and then again things certainly went her way later in the day. But that's kind of where we are at this point, Curtis.
Yeah, she ended up, sliding at about 43 toward the end of the day, which, if you know anything about Dasha's game, that is not it. She's about as far left as I have ever seen her play, but still very tight launch angle, trying to roll it and kind of love on it at the bottom of the swing without getting too fast. Because if you throw it too fast, you're going to just blow by. You're going to blow by your break point, and you're going to be seeing a lot of 2-8-10s and washouts. So, Dasha can make it happen. She'll make the adjustments, but games 4, 5, and 6 are definitely going to be the telltale signs of who adjusts. Verity Crawley having a rough go of it. She can max out right now. She goes open, 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 open through 5 frames. She has yet to fill a frame. 42 in the 5th. It's like my daughter's score. Not obviously, and she just not figuring out. Looks a pretty lost here right now, and I think it is the product of just how tight they are down lane. So she'll look to kind of get it there, but looks like another washout for her on lane 10. Tough go of it. You don't like when your max score, heading in to the 7th frame is gonna be let's see, do the quick math here, $170. That's if she picks this up. So that's tough. That's real tough.
Now, Curtis, we are patiently waiting for the update for the Game 2 standings online, but do they have those scrolling in the ITRC? Are you able to see kind of what the situation is coming into Game 3?
Yeah, Dasha's at 292, still leading. Valerie Bercier at 243. Diana Zabyalova's 179. Jordan Richard making the big move at 177. She's won both of her matches. Verity Crawley coming in at 172, 1-1, 5 out of the show. Julia Bond, 22 out of the show at 155. Shaylin is at 144, 33 out of the show. Sydney Brum at 132. So those are kind of your top 8, top 9 players right there. It is scrolling here. So cuts at 177 with Jordan Richard. who's having a pretty decent day. But again, one game, and it's a shift. Birgit Norix really dropping in 10th place right now, where she started the day, I believe, in second or third.
We did note initially, of course, that between second and 12th place was 86 pin difference. That is not much at all. And then the bonus pins, 30 per game. You mentioned Jordan Richard winning both of her matches. Well, that's 60 pins right there. And then a couple of 3 or 4 baggers along the way, and those 86 pins, as you noted, disappeared very quickly as she worked her way up the standings and getting more comfortable as the day progresses.
Yeah, it evaporated faster than 90% isopropyl alcohol. It's just immediately gone. And it looks like I said, Verity is going to experience a little bit of that right now. But you're going to have to just shake it off. Lucio Restrepo looking to bowl a decent game, but it's a tight match here with Daria. Actually, no, not as tight as you think it would be, but I don't know. You just gotta find a way to string some strikes together. You've got to find a way to stay in these matches. Verity with her first filled frame in the 7th frame with a strike. So 171 is going to be her max score, and Birgit's already pretty much. I mean, she's pretty much closed her out by the 7th frame. So Verity going to give up some pins there.
Well, following along on the live scoring from the ITRC, again, we know these players are the best in the world. They're physically fit. If you follow them on social media, you know how hard they work at being game ready for these events. But then you add in the mental challenges of what's happening right now. And then that is a true test for sure. Dasha Kovalova has been pretty sound since late in yesterday's qualifying block, but just 1 strike through 7 frames here in game number 3. And she can throw the last 5 for 180. And you already mentioned Verity, 6 open frames to start this game. You just don't, you can't anticipate, you can't imagine that at this level. But the question is, how do you handle that and overcome it and finish strong and move on to the next?
You just try to get as much information as you can at this point. Make some bold ball changes if you need to. Obviously, that you can't pack it in, but now it's just gathering information and gathering as much data as you can to try to make the adjustment next game. Shalyn Zulkifli also going to bowl $150. That's if she clears it in the 10th frame. So the irony, is just that all these bowlers who came out to a quick start really struggling with this transition. Julia Bond has to strike out to bowl 2-0. Just some pretty choppy conditions out here going into the 3rd, 4th game. So, just really shows you how difficult they are right now.
Well, here on 1 and 2, we're showing on our featured pair, Lauren Pate got off to a hot start, had a huge opportunity based on what we're talking about to make some moves. And after the front 5, the wheels kind of fell off. And now we've got a match between her and Sydney Brummett. Sydney can strike here on the fill for 189. And that would mean Lauren would have to step up and mark in the 10th frame. So what started out in such a torrid pace is now looking like some trouble, because that's a mark at this point. Certainly not a gimme.
She's going to definitely want to get all 10 here. She needs all 10 here to maintain count and force the mark by Lauren. So Sydney needs to step up, throw as good a shot as she can, and hopefully get the results she's looking for. But Dasha with another, she sent that one through the face. And she's going to give up a lot of sticks here and potentially fall out of first place, obviously, depending on what Valerie Burst here is doing. Valerie not bowling a great game either.
Well, the good news for Dasha here is that even with barely being over 100 in the 8th frame, she still got a chance in this game against Diana. So those 30 bonus pins are going to be pretty sizable for saving some face here. It scores this game not good across the house. So those pins instrumental here in game 3 just to survive.
Yeah, she needs to strike here to put any infinitesimal amount of, and as you can see, Sydney crosses over. She's going to lose count there, 187. So actually still forces a mark here. Still forces a mark here. Nine out ties. A big strike there for Dasha. So Lauren needs, and again, 9, it's 2-8-10, and all of a sudden you're looking at a loser. And that strike there by Dasha on 3 at least puts a little bit of pressure on Diana to keep it clean, and that's gonna leave a very makeable spare. Obviously, expect Lauren to make this spare and close out this match.
Well, the good news for Lauren, the 8 count from Sydney meant that 9 was enough for at least a tie.
Yep.
But obviously, the extra 15 bonus pins and a routine spare here, just very, very important for Lauren as she tries to make her climb into the step ladder.
Well, she's giving some pins away. She's had a rough start as she picks that 9 clean, that 10 pin clean. So obviously she just needs. She's already won this match now. So something to build on. Something to build on. You win the match. It's obviously not the score you want, but you pick up potentially 28 sticks here. You beat Sydney, and now you just kind of build on that. Just hopefully. And after the balk with Diana, she crumbles it, and that pretty much closes the door on Dasha right there. It's obviously she needs to keep it somewhat. She needs to keep it clean, but Diana probably going to win that match here. And 7 count in the fill ball for Lauren. Going to put her at 195. So she'll pick up 25 bonus pins and put her at 88 over, and just kind of try to shake it off and move to the next game. But happy to come out with a victory there. And that's going to do it for Diana. She takes that match, and she pretty much she's already at 175 minimum. So she'll win that one. She'll pick up a couple, and now Dasha's just about damage control. Can she pull out a $170 here and only give away 30, as opposed to you don't want to give the farm away. And Rocio Restrepo is going to beat Daria. Daria had a chance to step up in 10th and double to beat her, but Rocio is going to take that match as well. $190 is a good game. This game, 190 is. I look across the house, and 190 is winning pretty much almost every match across the house right now. Beer gets shooting at 220, but that's about it. So that actually bodes well for certain people, because even if you bowl at $170, you're not really losing a tremendous amount. Final score for Roasty over Strepo, $1.98. A strike in the fill ball for Daria gives her 188 potential. And a 10 pin for Dasha. That's going to put her in at maxes out at 150.
First, this was not a pretty game here.
No.
Perhaps this is the transition game and things that can only go up from here. But one player out of 12 had 200 or better, and that was Birgit.
Yep.
Who got out to a slow start. She was great on the fresh yesterday, slow start today, but just made a huge move this game. The only player out of 12 of the best in the world, representing 9 countries, the only one to shoot 200 here in game number 3. Wow.
Yeah, it's razor thin. You have no margin of error down lane. You have to throw it perfectly. This just reminds me of almost like a U.S. Open pattern. It's really playing flat, and obviously each iteration of a lane pattern plays flatter and flatter as you continue to lay it down. So you had 2 applications yesterday and then another application today. That third or fourth application, it makes a difference. You let that lane oil settle and it flattens out a little more and starts to read truer and truer. And so this 2-to-1 oil pattern ratio really rearing its ugly head, and Verity's gonna it's weird to call it a bail, but Verity throws 5 strikes, trying to throw 5 strikes at the end of her game to bowl $150, Matt.
150 this game, not the worst of the 12, and you're right to throw a few at the end there. She did not lose a whole lot of sticks. She was on the receiving end of that 221 game from Birgit, so not much she could have done there anyway.
Yeah, she throws a 5 count in the fill for a 146.
Considering how that looked after 6 frames, I think she'll be happy to take that and move on. And Aaron Smith steps away for 1 minute. And that was it. The train completely derails, but he is back. He'll be ready on the call for game number 4 in just a minute. And again, it can only go up from here, both commentary-wise and score-wise, hopefully.
Wheels fell off, Aaron. The wheels fell off. The world is crumbling. Cats and dogs sleeping together. Mass hysteria. Welcome back.
Well, thank you. I'm sorry to hear the scores have took a little tumble there, but the good news is they still have 3 games to come back, and we still have a lot of bowling left to go today before we determine our top 4 for the step ladder finals later tonight, right here on BowlTV.com, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Kelly Kulick going to be joining us for the call, so that's going to be pretty fantastic, folks. So we're looking forward to that and crowning another champion here on tour in just a couple hours. As our competitors move across the house here, though, let's take this opportunity to thank another one of our great sponsors here as part of the PWBA Tour. Got to give a shout out to Apparel EFX. Visit www.apparelefx.com for custom uniforms for all sports. Once again, that address, apparelefx.com. Proud apparel sponsor on the PWBA Tour here in 2021. Taking a look across the house here for game number 4 on our 1 through 4 channel, which is also our main commentary channel at the moment. kind of followed this pair throughout the course of competition so far. Rocio taking on Shalin on 1 and 2. Julia Bond taking on Verity Crawley on 3 and 4. Over on our 5 through 8 station, on 5 and 6, Lauren Pate taking on Birgit Norreichs, the lone player to roll 200 in Game 3. On 7 and 8, Diana Zavielova taking on Valerie Bercier. Over on 9 and 10, Jordan Richard taking on Daria Payuk. So if you're a fan of the rev rate, 9 and 10. We got some revs there. Finally on 11 and 12 here for Game 4. Dasha Kovalova taking on Sydney Brummett. You know, folks, we saw some high scores that first game. You know, thinking about just 90 minutes ago or so, and now taking a look at the overall spectrum of where these players are at through 3 games. Only half the players averaged better than 200 for these first 3 games. And the high 3-game set so far, 642, Valerie Bercier. So we noted how close the standings were. Just 86 pins between 2nd and 12th place. 11 players that close. We saw Birgit drop from 2nd to 8th in the first game. And now that the scoring pace has slowed down a little bit, this has gotten trickier and trickier on this 43-foot condition. It is anybody's ballgame. All right, folks, looks like we do have a score update now available after 3 games. Dasha Kovalova continues to lead. She's 2-1 in match play so far, 553 her first 3 games. She's at plus 242. Valerie Bercier sits in second. She's also 2-1. We mentioned her with the 642 series, this, the highest overall 3-game set so far. She's at plus 228. And we talked about bonus pins, talked about bonus pins, talked about bonus pins. And you see two players quickly taking advantage of those 3-0. The only two players 3-0 so far have moved into third and fourth place. Diana Zavyalova now in third at plus 200 on the nose. And Jordan Richard moves into the top 4 with her third consecutive victory at plus 195. Julia Bond, the first player out, 2-1 record for her at plus 184, so 11 pins back. Rocio in sixth at plus 150. Birgit up to seventh place now at plus 146 after that 221 and a victory. Sydney Brummets is the only player without a victory yet here in the early going to match play. So she has dropped to 8th place at plus 119. Verity Crawley, after that 146, drops to 9th place plus 118. Shalyn Zolkiewicz, after that strong start, 144, to go down to 10th place plus 88. Daria Payuk plus 74. And then Lauren Pate plus 63. Those are your numbers here. But once again, looking from 4th place to 12th, just 132 pins back. Plenty of time available for every player in this field to make a run at the top 4 at the PWBA Go Bowling Classic, the first event of the Summer Classic Series, which will go all the way until August 10th. We'll crown a champion today. And we'll start back up with qualifying. 2 squads, once again, 9 games apiece. Tomorrow at the International Bowling Campus Classic. So similar format to what you watched yesterday. Different oil pattern, however. So the 38-foot condition will be used. We thought that was going to be tricky. So we thought this was going to be the easy one at first glance. So this is going to be exciting to watch the transition throughout the course of those 9 games on our 38-foot condition. But so qualifying will take place Friday, match play and step ladder Saturday. So it's going to follow the same format that we have here at the Go Bowling Classic. Sunday will be our day for the regional event, the Dallas-Fort Worth Regional. 8 games of qualifying for our regional competitors. Top 4 advance to a step ladder final. And then on Monday and Tuesday, the Bowl TV Classic will get underway. The top 24 competitors from qualifying at this event, the Go Bowling Classic, and then the International Bowling Campus Classic, those 9 games for each. So 18-game pinfall totals overall will determine the 24 players advancing to that event. So we'll be sending more than half of the field home after the IBC Classic. 24 who advance will bowl 24 games of round-robin match play over 2 days to determine the top 5 for the step ladder finals before we wrap things up Tuesday, August 10th, 9 p.m. Eastern. That final matchup, that final step ladder, right here on BowlTV.com. Some good questions in the chat, James, for the International Bowling Campus Classic. We will have all 56 players who competed yesterday back on the lanes. So second opportunity for those who have the day off. So as we mentioned, the top 12 advanced, which means for the other 44 competitors a day off, potentially to enjoy the finer portions of the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And another opportunity to qualify for the Bowl TV Classic. So once again, we won't know the field for the Bowl TV Classic. Nice cover there by Verdi until a little bit later this week, specifically Saturday. We'll know by Friday night. We'll have the idea, but Saturday morning for sure. Once again, that's all big and important talking points for us as far as looking at Player of the Year, Rookie of the Year. On the Rookie of the Year side, both Brianna Clemmer and Stephanie Zavala ended up missing the cut to the top 12. So they still have some work to do. Looking ahead for the rest of the weeks. Zavala, after the strong start in the 300 game, she had some struggles in the middle of the block. Made a run at it in the final game. Fell a little bit short. Brianna Clemmer was a little bit farther back in the standings, so Zavala catching a little ground after this opening event. But on the Player of the Year race side, with Julia Bonda and Dasha Kovalova advancing, an opportunity for them to both create a little more distance between Shannon O'Keefe and Missy Parkin, as top 4 was all pretty close in the overall standings for the year. But once again, brand new tournament tomorrow. Plenty left to be settled here today. Taking a look at the scoring pace across the house here for Game 4. Once again, after the rough showing across the board in Game 3 on this 43-foot condition, seems like folks, maybe a little bit more hesitant on the approach. Not quite as many circles up on the scoreboard there, but not a ton of strikes either. Not a ton of strikes either. Kovalova, our tournament leader, all tied up through 7 on 11 and 12 against Sydney Brummett. Valerie Bercier, second place down, currently to Diana Zavialova, who's in 3rd. But both of them working on a couple strikes now. Slow start for both Jordan Richard and Daria Payuk on 9 and 10. Jordan currently holding on to that 4th spot.
Aaron, I had an opportunity to talk to a couple people just to kind of get some insight as to what is going on. And Matt McNeil, and I agree with him, obviously. It's smart to agree with that man. Mm-hmm. The mid lane is just so flat, and it's really creating a lot of problems. It's giving the appearance of it being really tight down lane, but it's really going through the mids that is really creating a lot of problem. And they're lining their players up where they were set Game 7, Game 8 already here in Game 4. So it tells you kind of exactly, and you can see right now all the players they're getting left from where they were Game 4 during the qualifying block. So they're figuring it out. Obviously, there's a little bit of a rebound here in the 4th game compared to that 3rd game, but still a lot of difficulty, a lot of problems for these players right now. They are not easy. I was talking to Shannon O'Keefe, which Interesting fact. She missed a check this week. When was the last? Do you know how long it's been since she's done that?
I'm gonna guess it's probably a couple seasons now.
3. She hasn't missed a check in 3 years. But she had a really great attitude about things, though, which she tends to. But she looked at him and she was like, I was like, they don't look fun. She's like, yeah, they look a lot of fun. I wish I was out there bowling. But yeah, they are very hard right now. Dasha trying to put together a good game here. She can bowl 230. It's like bowling 270 on this.
It really is.
So, little shake and bake there for Verity. Put some pressure on Julia right now. Yeah, that game's tight. One pin difference strike here. So we'll see how that shakes out. And that's a one that Verity wants to win. She wants to pick up 30 against Julia. Jordan Richard has yet to strike through 7 frames. Just made a ball change. And it's funny. I've heard a lot of, I missed the head pin right, but I threw a good shot. And that's something you don't, especially for these players. They know when they hit the angle they're looking at. And usually it puts them in the 1-3 pocket or the 1-2 pocket if you're lefty. But if you're throwing a good shot where you want, at the speed you want, and you're not hitting the head pin, it gives you everything you need to know.
You mentioned Dasha, now a late 3-bagger to set up her 10th. They split in the 9th from Sydney Brummett, so it looks like Dasha is going to collect another victory here.
Good mental fortitude there for Dasha. Had a really rough game, $150 last game. Put it behind her. Came in, started with an open in the first frame. Made the adjustment, made a really good adjustment in the second frame, and she's put it pretty much in the pocket since then. So Dasha showing why she's one of the premier players out here on tour. You got to say she's probably top 3 out here, maybe even top 2 if you want to make the argument. Only one other player has won more over the last 2 seasons than Dasha Kovalova, and that's Shannon O'Keefe.
That is no fact or fiction there. That is straight fact.
Yeah, you know what? I feel like we might need to throw out some fact or fiction questions, just some fun ones later on today. Just because.
You got to have your moments for that.
Absolutely. Actually, we'll throw one out right now. And if you watch the Gauntlet on Bowl TV, you might know the answer to this. Sharks are often heralded as one of the most dangerous animals on the planet, but you are more likely to be killed by a cow than you are a shark. Is that fact or fiction? We'll give you guys a couple of minutes here in the chat to answer that one. And then we'll go to Aaron Smith and see if he, although avid fan of the show, so I think we got this one, Aaron.
To be honest, I feel like I'm searching for this one now. I'm trying to place it of which episode that came in it. If that was one of the recent ones we did, or if that was from last year.
That's OG. That's the original.
Oh, that's from. Okay, so we're.
Kim Ruiz says, it says fact. Rick says fact. Yeah, guys, you guys got it right. That is a fact. Good on you. Does that include mad cow disease? No, it doesn't. But it's a product of exposure, right? Humans are far more interactive with cows than they are typically with sharks. So that is a fact. Good job, everybody. We had it's a 50-50 shot, right? Right, Aaron Smith, 50-50 shot, 2-8-10 there by Verity. Ouch. But we had Justin and Brandon Bone on the show at the trade show, and we asked them 8 fact or fiction questions. 8. Guess how many they got right?
It was a rough percentage. Similar to making the 2-8-10.
No, less. They got none. They went over 0 for 8 on the fact or fiction question. You guys should watch that episode though. It is actually on YouTube. If you go, but if you're a monthly subscriber, it's also in our archives. Get full access to our archives here on Bold TV. That includes all of Junior Gold, the 64 lanes of coverage that we had at Junior Gold, including all the step ladders, the U20, 18, 15, and 12 step ladders. Some great matches during that tournament. Amazing youth bowling. The future is bright for this sport. But we also had the trade show. We did two live shows there, and we had a lot of fun. So you can check that out. Check out the archives. Other great content out there available on Bolt TV. If you want to learn, you want to get some good knowledge and information, the lab and the vault all have some great stuff there. You can watch vintage shows, watch older shows, and learn from the best. So check that out. Become a Bold TV subscriber. It's only $9.99 a month if you do the monthly, or $79 a year. And take my money, Aaron Smith. Take my money.
We can arrange that after this block.
Hey, you know what? If you get the monthly subscription now, ooh, another brutal leave there for Verity. If you get the monthly subscription now, it's not only going to get you the rest of this tournament, right? We have 3 more events to watch here on Bolt TV for this week, for the next 8 days. But it's also going to get you the action and the coverage for the Spokane PWBA event coming up. And it's going to get you the final major of the year. Could be the deciding factor. Wait, hold on. 1, 5, 7, 8. That's an interesting lead there by Rocio.
She gets the 5, 7, 8.
But it's going to get you a ton of coverage, unless something extreme happens, maybe Julia Bond winning the next 2 or 2 out of the next 3, it could decide, and it very likely will decide the player of the year race. So this is coming down to some excitement here. Obviously, I had my prediction for player of the year. Julia Bond going to need to strike in the double in the 10th to take that one home. That open in the fill really created some issues. She had 2 opens in the last 2 frames. So Julia Bond is who I predicted to be the player of the year. She is currently the leader in points. So it's not a huge intellectual leap, but shots like that are why I think she's going to be player of the year. That is a gutsy shot right there. She's going to need the next one, and looks like 8 pins, Aaron Smith.
That will get the job done for Julia Shalin on her way to victory here against Rocio. We're going to have a new player sitting in second place after this game. It looks like Curtis over on 7 and 8. Diana Zavyalova is going to get the win over Valerie Bercier by 12. And in addition to the 30 bonus pins, she's going to jump to plus 242. Valerie's going to stay at plus 228. So it looks like Diana Z started this block in 10th, already up to 2nd.
Yeah, it could be a battle of Ukraine and Latvia. Oh, wow. best shot of the game there by Julia. For the wheat. You know, great players throw the best shots when the most is on the line. And Julia, interesting thing about Julia is that she can out-bowl bad ball reaction, which not a lot of people can do. There's, you know, maybe I can count on my fingers and toes how many bowlers on the planet probably can out-bowl bad ball reaction. And she is one of those players that she will out-shot make you. You can't give her a sliver. You can't give her an inch because she'll take advantage of it almost every single time. And this for the win. 3 in the just
impressive.
That was an incredible finish there. Verity opens the door for her, and Julia Bond takes advantage, picks up the 30 bonus pins, 35 to the plus there, and that's gonna close the gap there for her as well. As she'll overtake Jordan and Richard, and that will move her onto the show. If I do the quick math here.
Looks like Jordan's going to get the victory over Daria, but going to just be in the 170s with that. So essentially Julia's gaining 30 and change, right around there, 25 to 30.
Just goes to show you 2-0, a good game right now. 2-0 is not a bad game. So that'll put Julia plus 200, looks like 219. So great game by Julia, great finish by Julia. As Rocio Restrepo is going to shoot a $150 unless she's able to pick up this very difficult split. Very makeable, though. There's no 8-pin behind there, so it's just the 210. How many of those have you seen there? 2 8-10s and 2 10s.
I think it might be a record this week.
It's unbelievable. We thought we saw a lot in Farmingdale. Another really, really hard lane condition that we played on. But this is just making it look like it's Farmingdale was league shots.
It is. Can't argue that. That was Farmingdale was outside of Stephanie Zavala. That was a rough experience for a lot of folks with that lane condition out there. And this is turning into just a different type of heavyweight match. We're going 15 rounds here with this one to determine this top 4, and it's looking like a Rocky movie at the moment. Going through those middle rounds with the quick 15-second montages of 2 10s and Greek churches at the moment, but we're getting there.
Absolutely.
At the end of the day, we're going to have 4 no matter what, making it to that stepladder final, and they are going to earn it with the way this pattern is playing and transitioning throughout the course of this block here at the ITRC.
Jason Thomas just linked something in the chat, and it is hilarious. Go check out the link that Jason Thomas provided in the Bull TV chat. It will make you laugh.
I know someone who enjoys cows very much. I'm going to send it directly to them right now.
Oh, nice. Can you share?
Yes, it's Daniel Farish.
Daniel Farish. Shout out to Daniel.
Big fan of the cows.
One of our contributors to Bull TV.
I'm a fan of cows as well. They're delicious.
They are. You know, we had an opportunity while we were in Indianapolis to go to one of my favorite restaurants that serves cow at a very high level, and that's Elmo's Steakhouse. And it was a wonderful, wonderful experience. If you're ever in the Indianapolis area, you got to take the opportunity to check out that place. It has been around for over 100 years, and it's a steakhouse. But not my favorite part about that restaurant, Aaron Smith.
Oh,
And
I know.
You know why I go there.
Absolutely.
It's the shrimp cocktails.
100%.
And specifically the cocktail sauce. If you want the feeling of your brainstem blowing out of the back of your head, which is delightful, you're going to want to try
it. Despite that description.
Yeah. There we go. Yeah. Mark knows what I'm talking about. Mark Pruitt says St. Elmo's and the shrimp cocktail. Yeah, no, they're amazing. They're absolutely amazing. It's a great restaurant. Great people there run it. So check it out if you're in you want a good dry aged steak and a shrimp cocktail, which tickle me pink. There's very few times in my life that I don't want that.
Aaron Smith's face just lit up, and now he's it's like you refreshed him with cups and cups of coffee. He's ready to go and talk about whatever, and he also wants to sign up for every event that we have within driving distance of Indianapolis.
It's been a long time coming for that comeback trip. I've been working on my fellow employees when we go out to the Hoosier Classic to find a way to make that work. And unfortunately, in previous years, it hasn't. Things just haven't added up to make a St. Elmo's trip. So working that in this past month during that brief moment we had at Junior Gold was well worth the effort and the sleep we did not get throughout the course of that week. So I'm glad we made that happen.
Yeah. I went there for the first time in 2005. Do you know one of the people I went there with?
You're going to name drop here. Who?
People do not like him very much right now. Specifically, the bowlers bowling right now do not like him.
Nicholas Hoagland.
Nicholas Hoagland. We had a wonderful experience there. But yeah, Nick Hoagland laying down the damage right here for these players. I do not envy them. I do envy them because they're bowling for titles right now. You always, regardless of the condition out there, you want to bowl for titles, but not looking like a lot of fun.
So you're saying in the St. Elmo comparison of this, making the top 12 is getting to enjoy the delicious meal, but Nick Hoagland's pattern is like when you get the bill.
And the bill is always due, my friend. The bill is always due. Nick Hoagland. Nick Hoagland makes sure he passes you that check with a smile.
I'm not sure if he's getting 20% after this week.
No. Poor service. Poor service. Although, you know what? One person's going to have no problems with it.
That's how it works every tournament.
It's weird.
All right, folks, we got an update for scores here with 2 left to go in this block. Through 13 games, bonus pins included, Dasha Kovalova continues to lead. She is 3-1 in match play, plus 297. As we mentioned, Diana Zavyalova moving into second place, plus 242. So she's hoping to put herself in position to make a second show of the year after making the top 5 at the Queens. Valerie Bercier drops to third, plus 228. And with that 205 victory with all 3 in the 10th, Julia Bond is going to move into fourth, plus 219. Jordan Richard drops to fifth at plus 199. However, she and Diana, the only 2 players, 4-0 so far. So, looking at Jordan's found ways to win with 230, as would be expected out here, but getting a win with 174 as well last game against Daria Payuk. So finding wins any way you can. Big out here right now. Birgit Noreiks plus 177 in sixth. Verity Crawley in seventh at plus 120. Shalyn Zolkifli, eighth place, plus 117. Rocio plus 105. Cindy Brummett plus 101. Daria Payuk plus 45. Lauren Pate plus 40. So our top four: Dasha, Diana, Valerie, and Julia Jordan, the first player out, followed by Birgit, Verdi, Shalyn, Rocio, and Sydney. Our lineup here in Game 5. We're watching Verdi take on Jordan here on 1 and 2. Lauren Pate against Rocio on 3 and 4. Dasha taking on Julia Bond on 5 and 6. Daria Payuk against Sydney Brummett on 7 and 8. Diana Zavyalova taking on Shalyn Zolkifli on 9 and 10. Then Birgit Norex against Valerie Bercier on 11 and 12. Those are our matchups at the moment across the house. Just 2 games left to go here in this first round of match play. We'll be back on the lanes at 5 p.m. Eastern for the second 6-game block, including a position round at the end. As we wrap up our final 2 games here, folks, we want to give a shout out to Turbo, another proud sponsor here on the PWBA Tour in 2021. Whether you're looking to purchase your first new ball or you're a veteran of the sport, Turbo has functional and trendy accessories for bowlers of all ages and skill levels. From their patented quad 4-in-1 inserts to switch grip, their interchangeable thumb inserts, or any of their premier accessories, they are committed to providing bowlers with only the highest quality products and latest technologies. Be sure to visit them at turbogrips.com. Turbo, #driven to bowl. So Jordan Richard, one of the players with the long waits yesterday, seeing if her score was going to be enough. We talked about it quite a bit toward the end of the broadcast and the end of the block as well. She was in a position to throw a couple strikes in the 10th to, essentially put herself in a comfortable position to make this top 12. Threw a fantastic shot to kick off her final frame, rang a 10-pin, which cost her 20 pins. It's great cover there by Rocio of the 210. And so that 20-pin drop, she shot, I believe, 228 that game still, but could have been in the 240s. Left the 10-pin, made it, filled things up on the final shot, then played the waiting game. So plus 73 was her number. But has steadily made her move into the top 4 and currently first player out at the moment. Our first opportunity to watch her today, and got some strikes adding up on 1 and 2 now. Taking a quick look at live scoring. Dasha Kovalova, front 6, taking on Julia Bond, who after an early open has spared the second 4 in a row of her own. How about that? Matchup of 2 players in the mix for Player of the Year. Keep an eye on that. We might be heading over there sooner rather than later. Rocio showing off the spare game there. 210 conversion followed by 3, 6, 9, 10. see Dasha, her string of strikes ends far right of your screen there on 5. Big 4 after the front 6.
Yeah, she's starting to get into that area where she had a lot of success later on in the block, and it's kind of emulating, like you said a little while ago, it's kind of emulating a lot earlier, a later transition. So she's going to start to get in and play that area. What is she? Is she throwing that kinetic platinum?
I saw her throwing that a little bit earlier in the block today.
Dasha throwing the scorpion right
She's
now.
at the scorpion. Okay, well that was
scorpion.
That was a ball that she said was in the lineup yesterday. When if you check out the video interview, and you should do that regardless anyway. Anything with Dasha and video interviews, it's always fantastic. But she kind of talked about the progression of her equipment that she went through, and that kinetic platinum was kind of the ball toward the end of the block where she went 170 over her final 3 games.
Yeah, it's a ball that she's actually used a whole bunch this season. And so it's a ball she's very comfortable with. And she tries to get into as soon as she can. A testament to her ability to put touch on the ball. It's a pretty weak ball, one of the weaker balls she has. And, she was really in playing with that particular piece of equipment and made it look really great. So, Dasha, though, playing with the scorpion, and she'll look to kind of continue to push that lead. It looked like she was going to get some challenge there early by Valerie and a couple of other players, but again, she's kind of trying to separate herself and keep a nice cushion. Barbie Castillo asks, is anybody playing urethane right now? And the answer is no. I don't think I see any urethane out there really being thrown, and it's a dangerous throw. It's a really dangerous ball to throw. Not only is it going to create problems in the immediacy, but it would create havoc for the transition as well if people were throwing urethane. So pretty much all the bowlers staying away and have stayed away from it for the entirety of the tournament. So reactive, definitely more of the shape you want on this particular pattern.
Since we're a little bit farther ahead on 5 and 6, I kind of want to watch the end of that matchup there. So we're gonna make the switch. We'll come back here. Nice cover there by Jordan. Here's the go bowling schedule for the rest of the day. So I'm going to take a look at the conclusion of the Kovalova bond match. So here's Dasha returning to lane 5. That's where she had the big 4 last time up. Still get to 262. Oh. Julia has 247 out there.
So yeah, that match is far from over.
7 and 8, Daria Payuk taking on Sydney Brummett. Taking a look at live scoring, some struggles for Valerie Bercier this game on 11 and 12. She has 76 in the sixth. Taking on Birgit Norikes. It's maintained one of those spots in the top four pretty much all day. Julia sets up her 10th frame.
Excellent shot there by Julia. But you don't expect anything.
We saw her deliver all three in the 10th last game to get that 3-pin victory over Verity Crawley. She's able to add another double here. For Dasha to get the first one and a decent count. Oh. That pin flew across the deck. Somehow did not connect, though. And she'll drop the max down for Bond to 227 now. So now, good count on Dasha's first shot. That's all she'll need to collect a fourth victory here. .227. Good game regardless here. Scoring pace we've seen.
She's not going to lose much.
Not going to lose much, but Dasha Kovalova.
Actually, it looks like she's absolutely going to pick up pins on both Diana and Valerie. Julia will. So it actually looks like it's going to move her into second place. Barring a miraculous finish by Diana Zavyalova and a win, of course. But Shaolin Zolkifli, just opened. So that match all of a sudden just got a lot tighter. So we'll see how Diana finishes. But Julia could potentially move into second place right here. And what an appropriate standing if that is the case. You have two of the best players out on tour, showing why they deserve that Player of the Year award, trying to beef up the resume. As Sydney gave that Greek church a pretty good run there.
Dasha's going to get the win, so on top of that, she's going to extend her lead with 7 games left to go. But here's Dasha doing Dasha things. For a good measure. Chance to get into the 260s now. Well-deserved flex. You let him know, Dasha.
I have another fact or fiction question for everybody.
Uh-oh.
In honor of Daria Pajok right here, I'm going to ask a question about the oddities of Poland. If you were to watch a dubbed movie in Poland, what you would hear is a single voice voicing over every character in a monotone, flat tone. Is that true or false?
There's nothing monotone about that strike. I will say that.
Absolutely not.
I feel that saves on the production values and all that good stuff to me.
Oh man,
they're just about flipping it, getting it out there. It's going to have it. I'm going to say true, Curtis.
it is true. It is absolutely true. It's called a Polish lector, and the Polish lector, in Poland, their theory is if you change the tonality in the voice, it's distracting. So you could even watch a movie. It's hilarious to watch some movies or scenes dubbed in Polish, like you're watching a horror film and it's just completely deadpan. You watch Freddy Krueger fight, Nightmare on Elm Street, and the whole thing is just delivered in utter deadpan. So check that out. Check that out online, and to tell me what you think.
So it hits on the unintentional comedy scale then.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fantastic.
The Polish lector. Check it out. It's hilarious.
Kovalova 262 to 227. Verity Crawley put together a nice game over on 1 and 2. Just about to wrap up a victory against Jordan Richards. So Jay Rich will have her first loss here in match play. Verity's going to be in the 230s. So once again, with some other players ahead of her, not putting together anything too crazy this game. Verity, who was, I want to say,
99
about 99 out of the show. She's going to make a big jump here. In game number 5. She's essentially going to jump up into the plus 185, 86 range. Be right in the mix.
Oh.
Diana can max out at 190. Shalyn, if she makes her spare in the 10th, can still get to 195, so she would get the victory. So that would be Diana's first loss as well. Valerie Bercier can max out at 160, so she is not going to get the victory. We're getting Reichs. It's going to get the W there.
Shalyn picks up the spare that gives her pretty much, she has to fill, it looks like sticks. Needs 6 pins in the fill. But I've seen 5 counts out there.
Stranger things have happened.
Yeah, you send it through the space.
In the past 36 hours.
Well, she sends it into the pocket and 8 10s, but that's, the consolation there is just the fill, and she gets the match victory, takes it home by 3. Oh, Freddie Von Kruger. Yeah, I have maybe heard that once or twice there, Rob. When I joined the Navy, I went through what they call MEPS. MEPS is the Medical Processing Station for military personnel going to boot camp, and they have a board with all the names of the people shipping out to boot camp. And I walk in, young, bright-eyed 17-year-old joining the Navy, and they had erased my first name and just wrote Freddie. So it would be a nickname that followed me throughout my military career and beyond. Although I'm more affectionately known as simply Vaughn.
Here I was ready to call you Steady Freddy. Switch back to 1 through 4. Rocio finishes with 203, so an opportunity for Lauren Pate to step up here. get the first hit in the 10th to collect the victory. Jordan's going to finish at 194, so she is going to
that means
drop to plus 193.
Yep, and Verity picks up some big gains there. Puts her within 8 sticks of Jordan. So it tells you just, that 99 pin gap just narrowed significantly.
Just got erased. And, I mean, Valerie Bercier shooting 140s this game, 149. She's going to drop down into that, right around the plus 170 mark. Julia Bond going to move into the upper plus 240s. So she is going to go around Diana. So Julia into second. Looks like Diana will hold on to third. DZ finished with 177.
Did anybody ever buy me the Razor gloves? No, actually. But if anybody does, I would gladly take the joke, and I would wear them live on air. And Tim, unfortunately, Karen did not have one of her best days, and she did not even cash. The first, as we mentioned earlier on the broadcast, it was the first time in 3 years Shannon O'Keefe did not cash out on the PWBA tour. So not one of her best days, but if there's anybody great at just pushing the reset button and getting a new rack mentally, it's Shannon O'Keefe.
With that, folks, we're ready for Game 6, final game of this block. And with that, you good folks know what time it is. Let's get going. It's giveaway time.
Giveaway?
Giveaway.
Come on.
That is right. So, once again, up for grabs, the excellent, the always fashionable Bull TV t-shirt. Limited edition. There's Joe rocking it.
I can't even get one of these. So they're
I don't have one either.
They're very exclusive items. So how could I win such a wonderful prize, Aaron?
Well, unfortunately, you are not eligible to be part of this because you're part of the Bull TV crew this week. So that's why I don't have one either.
Here's my gun and badge.
I just can't win one.
Here's my gun and badge. The question you should be asking is, why do you have a gun? I don't.
Great stuff as always. Folks, to enter the giveaway, you're going to see a prompt in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. So if you've been here before, you know the routine already. If this is your first time joining us, we certainly thank you for that. Bottom left-hand corner of your screen, it's going to say a giveaway will begin soon. Watch you to participate. It'll count down for 60 seconds. And then in that same spot, another prompt will show up. They'll say the giveaway has begun. You'll see a submit entry button. All you have to do is click submit entry, and you'll be eligible to win. So if you are in full screen mode, we do suggest you take that out for a quick second so you can see the chat and everything. I think we had fun doing this way last night, Curtis, so I think you'll enjoy this. This is how you can win a Bull TV t-shirt. We're going to start the giveaway for the first strike we see on this pair or on these pairs on lanes 1 through 4. So the first strike,
we might not give the shirt.
So if there are
away.
0 strikes, you will get the shirt. Which would be very upsetting for Jordan, Dasha, Daria, and Diana. So I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah, probably not.
And there we go. All right. Jordan Richard has helped us get this giveaway underway with that Brooklyn strike. So thank you, Jordan, and thank you to everybody here on Bull TV for being part of the community. We appreciate it. And good luck. Once again, wait for that submit entry button to pop up. All you have to do is give it a click, and you are good to go. Final matchups here across the house. As we can see, Diana Z taking on Daria on 1 and 2. Jordan taking on Dasha, 3 and 4. Over on 5 and 6, Sydney Brummett taking on Verity Crawley, 7 and 8. We have Shalyn taking on Birgit on 9 and 10. Valerie taking on Rocio, then on 11 and 12. Lauren taking on Julia.
You're welcome, Chris. It's never a bad thing to have some artsy piece stuck in your head. I'm always a big fan, especially when I'm at the beach. It just always feels like Red Hot Chili Peppers are great beach music. And I live in a beach community, Aaron Smith, in Pensacola, Florida. You're allowed to be jealous here being in a landlocked Arlington.
This is true. I am locked to the land.
White beaches in where I live. Some most beautiful beaches in the country. I put them up against pretty much coast to coast anywhere. When you're at the beach, folks, Bolt TV, if you ever go to the beach, what are you listening to? Maybe a little Beach Boys, Sublime. What you got?
Well, you folks get to that in the chat. I want to say congratulations to Adair for winning the Bolt TV t-shirt. And thanks again to everybody for participating here in our giveaway.
All of a sudden, Verity Crawley only 25 pins out of the show, and Valerie Bercier drops out, and she's now 33 sticks out of the show. Julia Bond, Dasha really kind of getting some space between 53 ahead, or 153 ahead of Julia. Diana Zevyalova is in third place right now, 219. Birgit Norikes is currently the last in the show. Jordan Richard only 17 out, and Verity Crawley 25 out. Shalyn Zulkifli in 8th place. Rocio Restrepo is in 9th. So you got some movement. Lauren Pate right now, she is sitting at the floor. She's had a rough day. She's at 36 over, so she's actually shot under for the block. Daria Payok is in 10th. Now I'm going to have that song stuck in my head. Hey, KC. How are you, sir?
Curtis, are you saying hi's in the Bolt TV chat?
Absolutely. I'm going to chase everybody away.
Well, I want you to say hi to someone else here, okay?
Oh, my goodness. Matt Canizaro just got a lot more interesting. We have a very special guest in the studio coming live.
That we do. We have Jillian Martin joining us here on Bolt TV, folks. So first off, Jillian, hello. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. We wish we were watching you bowling out there right now. You had a great run here at the Go Bowling Classic, but I know you're excited for the upcoming event as well. But thank you for joining us here. Tell us a little bit about kind of what you've been seeing out here on this 43-foot condition. Obviously, we've seen the scoring pace get pretty tricky out there for these competitors. What have you been seeing, kind of just being out there at the ITRC today?
Yeah, so I think today they're playing even a little bit tighter than they might have played yesterday. So really keeping that ball speed down is key right now. But another big thing is you have seen a lot of people start going to weaker bowling balls just because the higher up bowling balls are just slowing down a little too quick down the lane. So just getting something that can go through the pins the right way and keeping that ball speed down, that's really been important.
All right, there we go. We'll have a score update for you good folks as well in just a moment.
So, Jillian, you had the opportunity. Obviously, you are the alternate. Never the place you want to be, but you still had a great showing in this tournament, taking home some scholarship dollars. You had a chance to step up and force a tie with Shalyn going into the 10th frame. What was your mindset there? And how do you mentally get over something like that? Because I know you were a little heartbroken there.
Yeah, so I mean, just going into that frame, I knew I needed all three to tie. And for me, it was just going up there and trying to make the three best shots I could. So it was actually kind of funny. I was standing on 46. So in my mind a little bit, I was a little concerned just because I know that that's a pretty far left for me. And I know I can almost clip it off the gutter cap. So I got a little bit too lost in that in the middle of that game. But I just got up there that last frame, told myself I'm going to make three good shots. And the first one, dead aced it. It was beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
The second one, I probably would have made another move off of it because it wasn't that bad. It was just a little bit inside, and I left a 4-7, but based on the characteristics, that was room that I had before. So, I mean, that kind of sucked, but at the end of the day, we finished 13th, and it is what it is, and I still got 2 more tournaments to go, and it put me in good position to make that last tournament too, which I also know is very important out here for this event. So, I'm feeling good about it. It sucks all in all, but I mean, we're just going to come back from it and try to bowl really good tomorrow.
Yeah, we've talked a lot about the moment, obviously, and you being, 17 years old. It's something that's been discussed, obviously, in TDM. Kind of put you in the breath of players like Norm Duke, who came out and won on the men's tour at a very young age. How do you not let the moment get too big for yourself? Obviously, you're bowling. This is a different atmosphere than you bowled in a couple of weeks ago when you were bowling in junior gold. Had a great showing there. Obviously, match play didn't go exactly how you wanted to, but is there a change in mentality? Is there a change in mindset? When you're coming out and you're bowling against the absolute best?
Yeah, so I think I know, like, when you're bowling against the best ladies in the world, you have to be there 100%, and you need to always be making good shots, be thinking about moves, trying to figure out how lanes play. And obviously, now that I've bowled at the ITRC, this is my second time here, I'm starting to really know how those lanes play and how they're different from each other when I make moves. So it's just really giving 100% to every shot, and there's just not as much room for error when I come out here. But at the same time, I really enjoy the challenge, and it's a lot of fun for me. So I think it's allowed me to thrive in that aspect just because I love to do it, and I love to bowl against the best in the world.
Well, that's how you start to define greatness, is relishing the moments and converting that nervous energy into excitement and focus. And you see the best players in the world. That's what they're able to do. And we were talking about Julia Bond. She throws her best shots when the most is on the line. And I know you're going to get there. You're already 90% there, but you can take this as another learning opportunity, I'm assuming.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, folks, we are joined here by Curtis just said Julia Bond. Jillian Martin joining us here from the Bowl TV studio. We do have a score update available after 14 games. Julia Bond did move into second place after that 227 game in game number 5. Dasha Kovalova starting to create some distance from the rest of the field, though, plus 389, leading the way, 4-1 record in match play. Julia at plus 246, Diana Zavyalova plus 219, and now Birgit Norikes, who's had quite a roller coaster of a day, starting in second, dropping all the way to eighth after the first game, has fought her way back into the top four. She is at plus 210. Jordan Richard holds on to fifth at plus 93. Verity Crawley with the big move, plus 185. And then Valerie Bercier with that 149 game falls all the way to seventh, plus 177. Shalyn Zolkeefly plus 140. Rocio plus 138. And then Daria rounds out the top 10 at plus 91. So we saw, once again, some more mix-up there in the leaderboard as we prepare for this final game and get ready for our final 6-game block coming up in just a couple hours, 5 p.m. Eastern, the time for that. Jillian, when we were talking to you during the kickoff classic, I think I asked, how were you managing the school aspect of it as well? And I know you were, finishing your block here, competing against the best in the world, and then all of a sudden you were going to go do homework at the hotel afterwards. I'm thinking it's summer break time right now for you. So how's this experience been a little bit different with that, and knowing, maybe the school responsibilities aren't, you're not trying to work those in while trying to qualify on super challenging lane conditions against the best in the world. Have you gotten to enjoy the area maybe a little bit more?
Yeah, I mean, we've gone out and done a couple things. So we've gone out to eat a few times. And I know last time, too, we were kind of stuck in our hotel rooms just for the sake of COVID, which I think helped everything out. But at the same time, I mean, there wasn't really as much to do, so it kind of helped out the school situation. I had a lot more time to do schoolwork, so that was a good thing. And so we've kind of gotten to go out and do things. Obviously, I'm here today watching and all that stuff. So we've only been in the area for a few days now, but I'm sure we'll go out and do a few more things while we're here.
Jillian, you did have a pretty special moment in junior gold, and I think you might know what I'm talking about. You pulled a 300.
Yes.
Tell the audience, and Larry Bird says congrats on that 300. How did it feel to do that in such a big moment? We caught it all on video, and so you have that preserved, for eternity, so to speak. Tell us a little bit about bowling that 300.
Yeah, so I mean, it was definitely a cool experience just to be out at Junior Gold on the biggest youth stage, in my opinion, and just to be able to go out there and make 12 good shots in a game and bowl that well. So it was definitely cool. I know I was a little nervous going into that. It was day one of the tournament, so I mean, at that point, you just, there's a long way to go, but you're just trying to make good shots and just try to get to some score when you can. Try to make bad games good at the same time. So I think my first 2 games I went like 2-0, 2-0. I made a ball change and I felt really comfortable with it. And I just got out there. I knew the lane was going to give me a lot of score, so I just tried to make 12 good shots. And that's what I ended up doing. So it was definitely really cool, though, to do it on that scale for the youth side. And I just had a really great time doing it and being out there.
It was definitely fun to watch, and just hearing your excitement as because you were mic'd up. Which is cool. It really is cool, and hearing you when you threw the shots and seeing it happen, and then of course the emotion when you get to go say give high fives and hugs to your coach and your dad and all the people that are watching there, because it was a pretty full house behind you. It was absolutely full house. Did that put a little extra pressure on you knowing all those people were watching?
I mean, not really. I'm kind of used to it, I guess, to say that, but for me, I was just at the point with the 300s. I had shot 4 290s, and I was like, screw it, we're gonna go out here, we're gonna get the job done, and that's what I ended up doing. So
gotta pry it off.
I like that strategy moving forward for both of us, Curtis. So when we're working on the live stream and something won't work, we'll just go with that mentality, and all of a sudden it's going to get done. I like that.
Just go and get it done.
This internet is not working. No, it's going to work. It's going to happen. That's awesome. And I mean, the 299 during the Kickoff Classic Series was so fun to watch, and we were very surprised to find out that you had not got that 300 yet. So to see it happen at Junior Gold was super awesome. And as Curtis mentioned, being mic'd up for it was made it even cooler to watch for us, and just seeing the emotion, the excitement from you as well. But still, going through your process, going through your pace of making sure you're making the best shot you can out there. And one of the moments that I kind of caught from that as you were kind of coming off the approach, you saw your coach out there, Will Clark, and he said something I think along the lines of, just enjoy it for a moment. We still got more work to do, and and I know your mentality is, working towards that. There's you come into an event with a goal, with a game plan, and you got to get to the end of that. And I thought that was such a great point that he made, and then to see, you followed up strong. You ended up leading qualifying. You didn't let that define your week. I think that was a great point as well, and a good learning moment for a lot of folks, knowing that it's cool to have these moments and it's awesome, but you're looking big picture though too. That the job is never done until you get to the end of the week and hopefully you're holding the trophy.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, dude, I feel like there's a lot of times where people will go out and shoot 300 and just kind of those emotions get to them and they just drop down. They can't, I don't want to say they can't, but it's just harder to bowl as well the next game because you're just so excited and you get going a little fast and then you start making some bad shots and you kind of lose a picture real fast. So I think that was a key moment for that, just because I knew too, we have one more game and we don't want to give it all back in a game because then it's not like it never happened, but it just kind of sucks because it's like I got there, I was at plus 100, and then I shot like 170. I'm like plus 70. I'm like, well, it's okay, but we don't always want to do that. So
Yeah, we saw, and it is supposed to show you past success does not guarantee future success. We had Stephanie Zvala come out and shoot, 140 over for her first 2 games yesterday, and then doesn't make the cut. And so it just goes to show you, hey, 300, live it, for that moment, and then you have to move on, and you have to reset and still see the lane and still make your adjustments and make the shots.
All right, folks, we're wrapping up the end of game number 6 here of match play round 1 at the Go Bowling Classic. We're joined by Jillian Martin, the 17-year-old standout. Jillian, I know you just had a birthday. So how did you celebrate that prior to heading out here to Arlington for the tournament here?
yeah, so I mean, my parents and I went out to eat the night before and just kind of celebrated a little bit with my family. And then it was actually funny because on my actual birthday, we were driving to Illinois so I could go get in a few days of work with my coach before we came out here. Just coming off junior gold, I like to take some time off after those bigger tournaments just to make sure that I'm ready to go and fresh for the next ones. So I hadn't really bowled at all. So we ended up driving there so I could get some work in, and it worked out real nice. So it was cool.
Excellent. Now, looking ahead, I like that you mentioned the big picture, looking at the Bowl TV Classic and making the top 20 for that, and you're in great position for that right now. The International Bowling Campus Classic, 38-foot pattern. You had the opportunity to throw some shots on it way back on these weeks called Run Together. I think it's Tuesday. We did that. Had that practice session. So kind of based off of seeing the longer block and kind of how everything transitioned, kind of talk a little bit about how the game plan's kind of been forming. You got the first look, but I'm sure spending more time out at the ITRC probably give you maybe some different things to think about as the blocks progress. But what are the really big things you're going to be looking for when you hit the lanes tomorrow to hopefully have success to make the top 12, and then obviously move on to the Bowl TV Classic as well?
Yeah, so I mean, once again, just the biggest thing is always making good shots, just trying to stay calm in that moment and just do what I can do to bowl the best that I can. But I think at the same time, for me, a big key there will be just now that I have reassurance on how all the lanes play and everything, just making moves, getting ahead of the move, making sure that I am going to make a good shot when I move and fully trust it now that I know how everything's working, and then just make ball progressions as quick as I can. Don't wait. Just go for it and try to get to some score.
All right, I like that. I like that a lot. As far as kind of the equipment setup from what you saw, 38 feet, a little bit shorter than what we saw. In kind of getting that first part of the bag ready. Obviously, through 9 games, probably have the progression planned out for where you're going to be going as far as equipment. But what are some of the balls that might be key for you out on the fresh starting tomorrow?
Yeah, so I know I liked a lot of my weaker stuff, like my IQ Tour. I like the Ordnance C4 as well. And then I have a Hustle Camo, which is actually a newer rotogram ball that I thought looked pretty good out there. We got some other stuff drilled. I got a Burner Pearl. So I'm liking those, and then also I have some older balls, the Idol Pro and the Idol Pearl, that I'm a pretty big fan of. So I was actually able to move pretty far left because I think 38 is kind of that sweet spot where I can get in further left and still have some shim in the middle of the lane, whereas 37 I can kind of do it with, but it's not as defined. So I'm very comfortable with it, and I think that if I make good shots, that I should have pretty good looks throughout the day, but we'll see what happens.
All right, I like that. As we get toward the end of game number 6 here, final few frames in our matchups here. Diana taking on Daria, Jordan taking on Dasha. Looks like Dasha is just going to continue to impress here and is going to collect another victory on her way to potentially a 223, which would be more than enough for the victory. Diana's doing her thing. She's clean through 9. She's going to get the victory over Daria here. As we wrap up, taking a look at some other scores, looks like Julia potentially going to lose her final matchup against Lauren Pate. Looks like Lauren just sealed that up.
She did.
We got Valerie and Rocio. Still a couple frames left to go there. Birgit finishing this block strong. She can still get to 227 this game against Shalinzel Keithley.
Match not over though. He honestly needs that first hit to make that thing, or actually just make some heart. But yeah, she has it in hand.
Now, Jillian, I'm gonna put you in a tough spot here. I'm gonna ask a question. I know you've been watching these competitors all year, all week. Who do you like? And I won't make you pick 4 unless you want to. But who is one lock for this TV show coming up later today or later tonight at the Go Bowling Classic? Who's the one player who, whether it's someone at the top of the leaderboard like Dasha or someone maybe a little bit further back is going to make a run? If you had to pick one person to make this show that you felt super confident about, who would that be?
Well, I mean, obviously Dasha is very far up there right now, so I think if she has a good look later, she'll definitely be in. But for me, I would love to see Julia make it too. So I'm going to kind of go off and say 2 people, but I think both of those will be in.
I like that. I don't think Curtis would disagree with that. Disagree those two. What's your Curtis?
No. I think my opinions on both of those players have been well documented. We got the receipts. So I would agree with you there. I like, outside of those, I'm looking at Diana right now and kind of where she's at. I think she needs to make a run at this show to really hit the reset button on her season. She had some early success, and then she's kind of been in a slump lately. So I feel like she's going to rise to the moment, and she's going to be on this show as well. And so that'd be a pick. I feel very confident in Diana's ability. And then I'm gonna make an odd prediction and say Zulkifli is going to round out the top 4. Bold prediction.
She's quietly been just hanging around, keeping herself in contention, and she's not going to get this final victory against Birgit, but no, she's been just kind of hanging around this whole block so far. So I could see her, if she gets off to a strong start, making a run. And we saw how tricky this pattern got as well in the middle of that block. So May Shalin with her ball speed, able to keep her angles a little bit more in front of her, could take advantage of that kind of after seeing what transpired throughout the course of this block a little bit earlier today.
Yes, sir. That's going to be, and her experience, I think, will come into play here, where she can manage, and maybe her ceiling isn't as high as far as max score as some of the other players that can get a little more aggressive in the pocket. But I feel like, especially for a shot like this, having a higher floor, if you will, it becomes really, really important. I don't think she's going to shoot herself in the foot as much as some of the other players can. So, and she's proven time and again to be able to bowl on really difficult conditions against the best literally in the world. So yeah, that's my bold prediction I like to throw those out here going into the last block.
You have done that quite a few times this week. I like the energy, though, Curtis. I like the energy. And folks, we're just about done with this round here. Just a couple of, looks like 10th frames left to go across the house here. So, Curtis, we're going to bring it back into the studio here as we will be joined once again here by Jillian Martin to wrap things up. There we all are. So, see, we
Hello.
Jillian is here with us in the Bull TV studio. So, Jillian, as you know, obviously you got the rest of the Summer Classic Series to look forward to here, but you know, kind of what's next up after this for you, as far as kind of bowling on the big stage? What events do you have kind of lined up for you, you know, beyond this tournament here in Arlington, Texas?
Yeah, so I'll definitely be at the Women's US Open, but since I'm a non-member, so I only get those 2 cashes. So after this tournament, that was my second cash, so I can't bowl anything else except for through the rest of this Summer Classic Series. But then hopefully next year I'll be able to be back out here, and hopefully we have a few more, like where I can get 3 tournaments and it only counts as 1 cash. So that would be nice for sure.
That is always good. You get more experience out of it that way. So that's awesome to hear. I know you're always busy with the Storm Youth Championships as well. A few of those on tap, perhaps?
Oh, yeah, for sure. We'll try to go to as many of those as we can. So I always love to bowl out there, and that's fun. And then I like the EYTs in the Illinois area and the JTBAs in the Ohio area. So
shout out to Deandra with the
Yes.
UITs. Yes, I know a lot of, and yes, most of the time when I see her post the results, I see you with the championship trophy. So I have gotten used to seeing that as well. So
You won a doubles tournament at the EYT earlier this year, and I want to protest. I want to protest because it was unfair who you got to bowl with. And if I'm staring down that competition, it doesn't matter who I am. You and Dasha bowled together, and that's just like, come on. You guys would be competitive on any stage. How was it bowling with Dasha for that?
It was super fun. I think Dasha's super funny, so I had a really great time bowling with her. So it was definitely an awesome experience. We were able to get the win out there, so it was great.
Giving a nod here to Julia Bond. She's packing her stuff up. Great round she finished up with, and puts herself in position. But yeah, no, you look at talking about these tours, you know, that we have available to us. They are so much more advanced than anything we had, you know, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, and obviously when I was a junior bowler back in the 1800s. But how do those help you mentally prepare for these? Because you're not the type of person that wants to go bowl out on a house shot.
Yeah, so I think it's definitely nice to have all those opportunities to compete, and especially the youth tournaments. They have gotten so big, like even on a national level. There's a lot of people from different states and areas that go to SYCs, and we actually saw when we went out to Junior Gold, a lot of the people up there actually had bowled SYCs before. So I think it's really cool, and just it's nice to be able to bowl against the best youth bowlers in the country on a consistent basis, just to try to have that competition and just have something to really be fighting for, because you're bowling against the best that there is.
Absolutely. And you know, getting that run time and you know, because you can bowl on practice shot, you know, you can practice all you want and you can bowl leagues all you want, but it puts it in a different context and a different mentality when you're bowling for tournaments, when you're bowling for trophies. So yeah, I've had an opportunity to make it out to a couple EYTs, and just really impressed with how they run things like that on those tours. And so if you're ever in the Chicago area and you have an opportunity, or you're in Illinois, you're a youth bowler and you have the opportunity to bowl one of those, I would highly recommend it. Check their Facebook page out. Shout out to Deandra and Jason Belmonte are the founders of that tour. So shout out to them for providing such a incredible stage for these youth bowlers. Cameron Crowe, big EYT bowler, and of course Joss Weems, one of my favorites. Joss and Mateo Quintero as well. All bowlers who had amazing showings there at Junior Gold.
Absolutely. And Curtis, I'm hearing the announcements on
Yeah.
site there that competition has officially come to a close here for match play round 1 at the Go Bowling Classic. So match play round 2 going to be coming up in just a couple hours, 5 p.m. Eastern, 4 local time here in Arlington, Texas. So be sure to visit the PWBA social media pages and PWBA.com for the update of Dash is still going to be at the top of the leaderboard, but to see that top 4 as we get closer to determining the stepladder finalists for later tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern, the stepladder for the Go Bowling Classic. So we want to take a moment to thank Jillian for joining us here on the broadcast for the final game. She just missed the cut here at the Go Bowling Classic, but is poised for another great run at the IBC Classic starting tomorrow. So you'll want to watch her right here on Bowl TV. So she's going to be throwing strikes left and right, doing cool things as she always does. So Jillian, thank you again for joining us here. Best of luck the rest of the way out, and hopefully we get a few more opportunities to talk to you right after you bowl 300 again or do something cool like that. Make another show. So we're hoping to see that for you. But thank you again. Best of luck the rest of the way, and just thanks for everything.
Thank you. All
right, folks, there we have it. Jillian Martin joining us here on Bowl TV. Curtis, we get a break here today, which is going to be nice. So we're going to go ahead and start getting ready for that. But a big thank you, as always, to all the folks who helped make the PWBA tour happen. We have the USBC, the BPAA, and their board of directors for their continued support. Kegel, the official lane maintenance provider of the PWBA tour, the athletes who are out there each and every week, committed to the game, committed to the sport, their dedication to their craft. We love seeing it each and every week. So thank you to them. And of course, all the folks who are joining us on bowltv.com. So thankful to be able to bring you these great events and get to showcase these great athletes out here, including Jillian Martin, one of the up and coming stars on in bowling just in general, not just on the PWBA tour, but in bowling in general. So we're very happy for those opportunities. So we're going to go ahead and sign off from the Go Bowling Classic. So for the Go Bowling team, Jason Thomas, Matt Canizaro, Curtis Von Kruger, I'm Aaron Smith. A big thank you again to Jillian Martin for joining us. But we're going to go ahead and sign off. We'll be back at 5 p.m. Eastern time for the second round of match play to determine our top 4 at the PWBA Go Bowling Classic. But for right now, folks, we're going to go ahead and sign off. Thanks again for joining us. And remember, on Bowl TV, bowling lives here. We'll see you soon.